Opposition chief Raila Odinga has again unleashed a new political strategy and rebranding that keeps friend and foe guessing. For the first time, Raila rebuffed claims by his closest allies that his eyes were trained on the presidency and that he had started strategizing for 2022. The former prime minister has instead intensified his push for constitutional amendments, urging a parliamentary system of governance as well as a three-tier devolved structure. Yesterday, Raila released a statement in which he disowned his close confederates, including Siaya Senator Orengo, who said Raila was in the race, and asked Kenyans to refuse to be distracted by the politics of 2022. Raila's political game plan is the exact opposite of Deputy President William Ruto's approach. He is already on a charm offensive for State House. Raila further appeals to Kenyans to stay focused on critical issues in the Building Bridges project and healing the nation. He reiterates the need for Kenyans to address themselves to the future we would want our children to live in and refuse to be distracted by the politics of 2022, Raila said through his spokesman Dennis Onengo. But speaking at Mwakapsawar Girls High School in Elgeyo Marakwet during an interdenominational prayer service yesterday, DP Ruto urged those joining hands with Jubilee to concentrate on Kenya's unity and development. I want to assure Kenyans that we will not be distracted by politics in implementing our development agenda. Our plans are firm and on course, as this will enable us to present our report card to Kenyans when the time comes, Ruto said. But his allies, led by Senate Majority Leader Kipchumba Murkomen, accused Raila of using the handshake to push his political agenda in 2022. It is now becoming increasingly clear the recent handshake is being used for a political agenda. What looks like a duck, walks like a duck and quacks like a duck is a duck, Murkomen said. Odinga is telling us that the recent handshake is for the unity of this country, while in political rallies he is talking about 2022 politics. This means he is not sincere in this matter, he added. Orengo has been a key think tank figure in Raila's inner circle, and the sharp contradiction over Raila's 2022 plans was the clearest signal that the ODM boss's new political plan remains inscrutable. It is not clear whether Raila plans to hang up his boots or he has only made a tactical retreat. There are whispers that a clique of influential Mount Kenya power brokers and leaders are clandestinely pushing to position Raila to succeed Uhuru in an elaborate strategy to pacify the country and end the perennial election battles and ethnic strife. In a surprise transformation, Raila has met retired Presidents Daniel Moi and Mwai Kibaki, his erstwhile foes. Yesterday, the ODM leader said his entire efforts are directed at implementing the peace deal with President Uhuru Kenyatta, aimed at, among others, healing ethnic divisions. 1 week ago, Raila informed the country from the podium of the funeral service of his fellow comrade in the struggle for multipartyism, Kenneth Matiba, that his entire efforts are directed at the Building Bridges initiative and the determination that he and His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta are engaged in to bring the country together and heal the ills that have afflicted it throughout the years, Onengo said. The roadmap to healing the ills is them signed by himself and President Kenyatta. Speaking over the weekend, Orengo, who is also the Senate Minority Leader, said Raila was not about to bow out of the political scene. Those who think Raila, is out are in for rude shock. My boss is still focused on the top prize, he said in the presence of Raila in Migori County, during the homecoming party for woman Representative Pamela Odhiambo. Orengo said Kenyans are still waiting for the day Raila will be sworn in as head of state, but suggested they have a strategy to finally get the coveted job. We have a strategy and it is part of what we are currently witnessing in the country. Raila is visionary, he sees where most of us can't, Orengo stated. But Raila sharply contradicted him and said he alone will communicate to the country when necessary. If and when Odinga will want to communicate something different to the country, he will do so personally and directly on an open national forum, Onengo said. Raila has continued to revitalize his ODM party after the disintegration of NASA, and his National Executive Committee is this week headed for a retreat. ODM Executive Director Raila Odinga confirmed the meeting is scheduled for Naivasha but rejected claims the party will strategize on constitutional amendments. "It's just for the induction of new members of NEC, I am the one who draws up the agenda and constitutional amendments, are not part of our planning," he stated. More on this video. Handshake ended secession, Raila tells Migori residents. But in a detailed op-ed published in the Sunday Nation, Raila argued that academics had long concluded that a parliamentary system of government was more suitable for culturally diverse countries like Kenya. In fact, the presidential system as currently exercised in Kenya is still a strong tool for exclusion. There is simply no way small tribes like the El Molo, the Turkana, the Digo among others can produce a president under the current system, Raila argued. The referendum debate has sharply divided the country, with Ruto and his allies strongly opposed to it. Uhuru has remained tight-lipped but said in his State of the Nation address on Wednesday that there is no unanimity with Raila on some undisclosed issues. "Raila and I stood together not because we agreed on every item of politics or policy, but because we agreed that Kenya belongs to all of us," Uhuru said.